Welcome everyone. I just made sure I played this video twice, so you saw the same footage twice, because I want to make sure that everyone that is joining, and people are joining as we speak, as I speak, I'm just going to make sure that you all can see me. Here I am. I can see me. Can you all see me? Kathy, can you see me? Anat? Thank you. I see some head shaking. Fantastic. You see, I'm checking in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you today during this Power Hour session with SOMA Breath and our founder, Niraj Naik. And of course, I just want to remind everyone what Power Hour is, because we just so often go from one session to the next. We have our Sunday Breathe Togethers, we have the Monday Breathe Togethers, we have the Wednesday Move Togethers in the app. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Monica is right now putting into the chat the app link. So the Move Together and the Breathe Together sessions are there. And then we have Power Hour. And Power Hour is a session where we discuss different topics, techniques, practical tips, and motivational insights to help you elevate all areas of your life. Now, I just wanted to make sure that we all know why we're here. So is this the right spot? Is this the right place where you came to? The Power Hour session with Niraj Naik and myself, your host. So my name is Piotr Ciepiel. I am a SOMA Breath Master Transformational Coach and a host for Sunday Breathe Together sessions, and also for events like this, the Power Hour sessions, because it is an absolute pleasure to be able to discuss topics that are so relevant, so important, and then can be life-changing, life-transforming, and then when you can tap in to your potential, to holding your breath for just a little bit longer each time, you have achieved that limitless potential that you were meant to have on this planet. Can I hear? Yes, I'm ready for that. Some head shakes. Kathy, Iris, Anat. Yes, thank you. Thank you for smiling back at me. I will be watching here. I'll be moderating the chat with Monica. I'm going to make sure as well that the flow is happening. But of course, before we even start, just put into the chat where you're dialing in from. I am currently in Barcelona, in Spain, in Europe. So if you can just type into the chat where you're dialing in from, and throughout this entire session as well, maybe not in the sessions where we don't use the chat. I think Niraj will explain when that is. Use the chat for any questions, because again, I'll be bringing them later on then to Niraj, or if Niraj is here, he'll be able to moderate as well and see the questions that he'll be able to answer to straight away. Fantastic. Okay, so we have London, we have Norway, we have California, England, Colorado, Malaysia, Puerto Rico, Germany, Guten Tag, Germany, Bangladesh, again, London, Croatia, Serbia. Beautiful. I love to see more and more countries and the community expanding, because this is the beauty about SOMA Breath, that once you're in it, you're hooked. You're just hooked. You just want to breathe better. You want to know more. You want to use the science and the spirituality all together, all combined. And that is what we can do together during our Power Hours and all the SOMA Breath events, retreats, and all of the sessions that we do both online and in person. So again, more and more people are joining, admitting you all. Welcome. If you're still on YouTube watching this, you can use the Zoom link and come into the Zoom room, so we'll have a better connection together. So today, Power Hour, how holding your breath changes your life. The magic of intermittent hypoxia training explained. Now, who here has been at our Sunday Breathe Together session with Niraj? Just the Sunday just gone, the 13th of July. Today is Tuesday, the 13th of July, because it was a session called Hold Your Breath. The magic power of intermittent hypoxia. Who's been here at that session? So let me know in the chat. Kathy, is that why you're raising your hand? Quite possible. Amazing. Yes, Barry was here. Welcome, brother. Good to see you back. Shakila, Natasha, fantastic. Good. So many of you were at our session. And if not, the session is available as a replay in the app. You have all the sessions for lifetime in the app. And I obviously would love to bring you into the app, into that beautiful environment as well, where we all are together, breathing and moving and being together as a community. Amazing. This is my first experience. Luis, welcome. Welcome to the SOMA Breath tribe. Welcome. We truly hope that you're going to get as much out of it physically, in the body, physiology, and then also mindset shifts, but also the real understanding of intermittent hypoxia. So in this session, it's all about the secret to more energy, okay? Sharper focus, emotional bliss. because this is that simplicity that holding your breath can do. But now, we're not going to be holding our breath in that panicky state as sometimes we do throughout the day. No, we're not. We're not. We're going to be taught, if you haven't done this before, to hold your breath in that calm, deeper state, as when, and we all like to say, Niraj says, where the magic happens. And of course, in the intermittent hypoxic training, which we will do today as well, and Niraj will explain how we're going to be doing and what will happen today and how it will change your life. You'll experience that. You'll experience the depth. How deep can you truly go? And this is the beauty, because you will learn how ancient yogi and modern biohackers use this breath-based technique to rewire the brain, reset the nervous system, and supercharge performance, and all without pills. We're going to be high on our own supply. Okay, who's ready to get high? Me, yeah, woohoo. Okay, yeah, good. Are we already high? Good. Let me just have a look at everyone. I just want to see you all for a second. Here we go, gallery view. Good. And I see as well our founder. I don't think he needs an introduction. I mean, if anyone doesn't know who Niraj Naik is, please type in to all of your search engines Niraj Naik, and you'll get all of the information. Because whatever I'll say now, he might think that, come on, Piotr, yeah, you're doing your job well. Okay, well done, well done. So you just type in Niraj Naik, and you'll get all the information about this incredible being that has brought us all together and has created this program and brought his music with the beats and with the breath holds, rhythmical beating part. And as you can see, all high vibing people, because that's what we all are. So I see many of you that I know. Julian, welcome. Georgia, welcome. Monica, Tina, fantastic. Okay, are we all ready? Can we get a little applause? Come on, this is a somatic experience. A little applause is a somatic experience. There's a little cheer. Okay, you're cheering right now. You're cheering for the founder of SOMA Breath to come on stage. Imagine a stage. Imagine, visualize. Stage. And here he is. Niraj Naik. I'm unmuting you, brother. And you have the stage. The mic is all yours.
Thank you, Piotr. Absolutely hilarious. Love it. So entertaining. Okay, great. So let's get straight into it. On the Sunday session, I actually did a whole experience, and now we're going to go into like more of the why it works, right, and all the benefits. And we'll also do a little short breath journey as well. But what we're talking about here is the core mechanism of what makes the SOMA Breath journey so powerful and so potent, and that is this technique from India called Nisheshara Chakra and Kumbhaka. So this is the art of holding your breath after a full exhalation for as long as you possibly can, right, to your maximum effort. And what it does is it creates a state, physiological state called intermittent hypoxia. And this is what we're going to be going deep into discussing, because the magic of breath work actually is not when you're breathing, it's when you're not breathing, when you stop breathing, and you hold your breath. So I'm going to actually read you some stuff from my new book, right? And we're going to go deep into some of the research that exists on this phenomenal practice, okay? But before I do so, I want to just check, who has had like a very transformative experience from doing SOMA Breath regularly? Who here has had one? Who's got a story they can share from doing SOMA Breath practices regularly? Especially like the app. They've used the app or the 21 days. And if you feel like the calling, if you don't mind sharing a bit of your story, that would be amazing as well. So if anyone here has had that, just bear that in mind. I'd love to hear some of your story. Me in the 21 days, Mete, Imtiaz has. We've got so many crazy testimonials on the 21 days. But I see a lot of new faces on this call, and I see a bunch of instructors. Okay, here they all come. Does anyone want to just share, like, quickly, like, because I don't want to get too heavy with science and explanations without you understanding what it can do for your life, the magic of breath holding, the right kind of breath, the way we do it in SOMA Breath, right? I'd love if somebody could just like come online, just one person. It's That's all I need.
I'm thinking if
Yeah.
Brett Hood, Brett, if you want to share a post-stroke story, Brett, would you like
Yeah.
to?
If you just raise your hand using the React, we'll know to put you live. So Brett's a good person to start this off. Where are you?
Yeah, looking for you, Brett. I'm looking. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
Okay, great. Let's get him on. Amazing.
Hold on,
Okay,
hold
we just
on,
need.
hold on. We can't hear you, Brett. Sorry, we can't hear you. You're unmuted, but maybe your mic is connected to AirPods or headphones.
How about now?
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. So yeah, I had a stroke several years ago, and had been searching different modalities to heal, and I'd found SOMA Breath almost a year ago, but the last 3 or 4 months in particular, where I've been doing it more regularly with the app every day, starting to actually see things turn around. And what I'm seeing turn around is like after the stroke, I had um, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, a lot of things that are weighing me down, and was just felt like I was in a downward spiral. Um, but um, yeah, I really feel like the breath work has helped me turn a corner, and I'm starting to regain a lot of it back.
Oops. That's amazing. So thank you for sharing. The reason why is probably from the side effects, the positive side effects of the intermittent hypoxia, the breath. So you're practicing the breath holding, right? Yes. Amazing. All right. Well, we're going to go deep into why this is happening and exactly what's going on within Brett. So anyone who doesn't know a little bit of biology of what happens when you have a stroke, you often you get a blockage, right? And it could get a burst blood vessel. There's many different causes of strokes. I'm not sure exactly which type you had, Brett, but what happens is there's a long-term history of damage that happens in certain blood vessels. It could be caused by a high blood pressure, for example. But it can damage the brain, and it can even paralyze parts of the body. And it also is related to mitochondrial function. So when your mitochondria start to dysfunction as you get older, right, from just general wear and tear and this modern lifestyle that we lead, the mitochondria can lose functionality, right? And the mitochondria is how we produce energy in the body, right? So it's really important that we have healthy mitochondria. So we're going to talk a little bit about mitochondria and why they're so important in a bit. But what this technique does, intermittent hypoxia, is it actually increases the number of healthy mitochondria you have in your cells. And it kills off the dead ones, the old ones, the ones that are actually causing fatigue. So chronic fatigue, one of the symptoms that often happens with disease, is actually mitochondrial dysfunction. This is where the mitochondria stop producing energy efficiently, right? So this is what they found. So in a lot of studies on intermittent hypoxia that's done by machines, that's generally done in clinics, right, up in high altitudes. That simulate high altitudes. So high altitude training is a very important treatment that athletes often use to improve their performance. But what they found was by simulating high altitude, which means taking people up to a high altitude and bringing them back down again, right, and doing like this kind of protocol, going from high to low, what happens is the body's getting a fluctuation of oxygen, right? So from normal oxygen to low oxygen, normal oxygen to low oxygen, all right? Because at high altitudes, oxygen is lower than a sea level with the oxygen supply, right? So they found that this actually leads to remarkable health benefits. In fact, in the Mexican Olympics, people were breaking world records, right? And what they were doing a lot was high altitude training and getting fit and healthy and performing at high altitudes. So, like in the 86? I can't remember the date now, but in the Mexican Olympics, I think it was 1968, Mexican Olympics, people were like astonishing, like scientists, because of 1968, because of it was the fact it was held at high altitude. So this led to the development of high altitude training as a modality, and then using machines to simulate high altitude. They also did studies years ago, right, with helicopters. They noticed that when people went up in helicopters to high altitudes and came back down, they had reversal of some disease symptoms. So all of this led people to discover this concept of intermittent hypoxic training using machines. And what they found is that a dose of intermittent hypoxia done in the right way actually firstly increases red blood cell count, right? Dramatically increases the number of mitochondria you have in your cell and kills off the bad dying ones. And what they found was that what causes mitochondria to age and get fat and lazy is when they get a constant supply of oxygen throughout life, right? And there's some factors that actually changes that, disrupts that process, that are actually good for us, okay? So if you continuously give oxygen and food, fuel, glucose to your cells, right, without pauses and breaks, the mitochondria get fat and lazy and die. This is what makes us age, right? And then there's all these other issues of oxidative stress that causes aging. And actually oxidative stress leads to strokes, right? So what they realized was that if you take away oxygen for a bit and give it back, take it away, give it back, right? Like a few minutes of normal oxygen, period of low oxygen, normal oxygen, low oxygen, right? With machines, they simulate it. People were getting incredible health results. And the other thing was, so first you get more mitochondria, but the other thing was stem cells wake up out of circulation. Stem cells are cells in your body that can turn into any other cell, right? They're incredible cells. And they are like, people are spending thousands of dollars on treatments, stem cell treatments. But here's the thing, the beauty of it is that they hate oxygen. So when you take away oxygen from your bloodstream just for a brief period, you actually wake up stem cells out of circulation, right? And those stem cells go to areas in your body that need repair, need healing. Okay, it's amazing. So this is what helps the whole healing process. More mitochondria, more red blood cells, stem cells, and then all of this actually leads to more blood vessels being formed in your heart, in your brain. This is why it's good for stroke. So what also causes heart attacks is similar like what a stroke is in a way, is it starts with like a block, and the block leads to angina, and you get less oxygen supply going to your heart. So often what they do is heart bypass surgery. But with this method, actually you create coronary collaterals, which are your own natural heart bypasses. So you actually increase blood flow to the heart and to the brain, so it avoids strokes, so it strengthens the blood vessels in your brain when you do these protocols. So a lot of patients who've had stroke problems or have had really needed healing, right, of some area of the body, maybe they're suffering from some chronic disease, degenerative disease, right, and degenerative brain diseases, get a lot of relief from these protocols. Now the problem with these clinics is they cost thousands and thousands of dollars per treatment session. And they're all the way over in Europe, in like places like Switzerland and the Alps, in these clinics, and it's too expensive. It's out of reach for most people. It's like a bit of a trek to go there as well, right? So SOMA Breath actually democratizes intermittent hypoxic training, right? This is what we do. This is the big breakthrough, right? And the other thing that it can also help with is um, the other thing that it can help with is trauma. So, you know, we're taught a lot about healing trauma through therapy, which often involves like talk therapy, subconscious reprogramming, and stuff like that, which we also do in SOMA Breath. But what they found whilst doing all this research on intermittent hypoxic training was that actually animals that they studied, when they give them trauma in labs, they can induce trauma, they would actually get wounds forming in the brain. And this led them to realize that actually trauma in humans, emotional stress, the kind that causes PTSD, actually creates wounds in the brain, scarring in the brain, which is why some people stay in trauma therapy for years and don't really get much better. It's because they actually have a wound in the brain. But what they found was with intermittent hypoxic training, all right, even just a few minutes a day of this, which I'm going to show you how easy it is to, you could repair the trauma in the brain, the wound. The trauma would be gone. So this is incredible. This means what we're doing here is upgrading both the hardware, and then with our subconscious reprogram techniques we call neurosomatic programming, we are reprogramming the software. That's what makes SOMA Breath such an effective, powerful methodology for healing. All right? Makes sense? Anyone else want to share like an amazing story before I go a bit deeper into this?
So just use the react button,
Yeah.
and then you have the raise hand, and they'll be able to see you and unmute you. Diana, we're going to come back to you. We know you're with us again. Thank you so much. You'll be with us unmuted later. Anat, you have your hand raised.
Great.
There you go.
Hello.
We can hear you, Anat. Sorry, you're unmuted, but maybe again your headphones might be connected.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can, yes.
Awesome. So a lot of things happened to me from Soma, but one of the biggest thing is I was after a very hard heartbreak. And when I started doing Soma, which was like 6 months ago, this is when I also decided to sign up for the coaching to become a coach. I literally felt through these 6 months how my body is healing from the trauma from the past relationship. It was very toxic relationship. And I literally felt how everything was healing slowly, my mind, my heart, my body during those 6 months. And then towards the ending the second level, I booked my first session, public session, right, to do SOMA Breath class. And during the 21 awakening day, I was asking, what should I do the SOMA Breath journey about? What should it be? And as soon as we started the meditation, I literally feel that energy comes out my heart, like rising like that. Like I got my answer right at that second that I should do heart awakening, because literally my heart was the energy was so strong and coming from here that I literally did the heart awakening journey. And I have to send you, Niraj, the reviews I got from that journey. It's just mind-blowing what people went through this. And that's my first session. I mean, I'm just beginning, and oh my God, the reviews, I'm going to share it. So I couldn't believe that people went literally through so much during that journey that I did, and everything started from the healing of the heart and the mind, and it really took me step by step, and just helped me and got me out of my fears I had to speak, to talk to people. And here I am today. I already have 3 sessions booked ahead for more sessions with people, and everybody, like, I'm getting this community buzz, and I'm not even yet in Instagram or anything, doing anything. So this is so powerful what it does on all levels. So
Amazing.
that's
Thank you so much
thing.
for sharing. That's beautiful. Yeah, there we go. That's a perfect example of how it can help with trauma and emotional stress, right? So it's not even just physical healing it helps with, it's everything. It's holistic. So let's actually talk about, like, how do we get into this state, right? So if you've been doing SOMA Breath already, right, you already are probably experiencing this. So who here, let me know, who's already been practicing SOMA Breath regularly? Let me know in the comments. Just put me. Okay, a lot of you have already done it. So you already probably know someone's been doing it since 2023. Great. Nice. So some of you, who has never done it before? Who's never done SOMA Breath? This is like really new feeling. Anyone? I've never done it. Okay, there's quite a few people not doing it. This is good. All right. Okay, so you're going to learn something very profound today. Okay, so there's a few different ways to get into an intermittent hypoxic state. There's also, like, ways you can induce intermittent hypoxia through movement. And my favorite one is dance. Okay, we did a bit of that on the Sunday session. But what I want to show you is this device. It's a magic device. Okay, we're actually going to be partnering with a company that makes these devices with an app that gives you very intuitive readings. But you can actually get one simple one like this from your local pharmacy probably, or on Amazon. And what this does is it measures your blood SpO2 levels. Okay, so you see where it says 98%? That's my blood saturation. Now what you'll find is that majority of people, okay, unless they've got serious health issues, have always got a saturation of around 97 to 100%. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm trying to get close so you can see it. Maybe I'll do it like this. I'll put it on this finger. So this device, when it registers, I'll show you. Oh, it's in reverse. You see there it says 97%. You can probably tell it's 97%. Okay, so when you go below 90%, you go into the intermittent hypoxia state. You're in hypoxia. And you don't want to do it, be in that state all the time, like more than you're not, right? Because that then is chronic hypoxia. That's different to intermittent hypoxia. Chronic hypoxia leads to health problems. That actually leads to you having less oxygen, right, going to your body tissue cells. But what this is measuring is the oxygen of your blood cells, of your bloodstream, okay, not your body tissue cells. And what we need to do is get that saturation down below 90%. Now, what you'll find is that just a little sniff like that fully saturates with oxygen. We actually have plenty of oxygen. Oxygen isn't actually the problem, right? We actually have we have an abundance of oxygen, okay? But what we need to do to get the oxygen saturation lower is we have to hold our breath for at least 60 seconds after a normal exhale. Now, that's the bit that's tricky. That's hard, because I'm going to show you, like, not all of you are going to be able to do this. But I want you to just do an experiment and see if you can, just with a normal inhale and exhale, hold your breath for 60 seconds. I'm just going to get a stopwatch and time you to see what your scores are. We're going to do it together, right? So when you finished, just make a signal, like react, hit the hand up, or no, actually just go like that. Just go like that. It'll be fine. All right, and I'll try and like see you guys all. Do a gallery mode so I can see all of you on the screen. And so what you're going to do to do this little test is breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose, hold your nose and hold your breath until you cannot hold your breath any longer. So do it your maximum possible effort. Okay? So let's see you do it. So after 3, 2, 1, normal inhale through your nose, normal exhale through your nose, pinch your nose, hold your breath now, and let's see how long you can hold it for. You have to pinch your nose, you have to hold your breath. Okay, most of you are around 35, 40 seconds. Oh, some of you are hitting that minute mark almost, like Barry. A bit of an expert. Okay, all right, I think most of you finished, but not bad. Those of you stayed almost a minute, that's really good. So what you just did there was kind of a breath hold test, which we can do in the morning. But the breath hold test that we use in the mornings, you'll find on the app, and the Breathwork Challenge is a way for you to measure your health, your status of health. That's a whole different conversation, but go to the Breathwork Challenge on the app to learn all about that, all about the breath hold time test, right? MBHT test is called. You do in the mornings. But what I just wanted to show you there, it's quite hard to hold your breath 60 seconds, right? Most of you are around 20 to 30 seconds, okay? 20 to 40 seconds is average. That's average. So the reason why you needed to breathe in, even though you got loads of oxygen saturation, because when you do this, right, when you put this on, you'll notice, it's very hard for me to obviously explain to all of you, unless you've all got a machine, but I'll just kind of give you the gist of it, because if you were to measure this, you'll probably find your oxygen saturation is still above 95% probably, right? It probably didn't move much, which means you actually have loads of oxygen in your bloodstream, but for some reason your brain's telling you you've got to inhale, right? So here's the reason why your brain's telling you need to inhale. It is the carbon dioxide levels that tells your brain that you need to inhale, CO2. So when you're holding your breath, when the CO2 reaches a certain level, it will tell your brain, I need to breathe. And that's the signal. It's not the oxygen saturation. So when we breathe in oxygen. We breathe out CO2. That's the basic biology. So if we don't breathe out CO2, if you're not breathing, and you're holding your breath, the CO2 is going to build up, right? So when the CO2 reaches a certain point, it tells your brain you need to inhale. Now, some people have a very short threshold for CO2, right? A tolerance, very short tolerance, which means they have to inhale very quickly. They can't handle CO2. They feel like they're suffocating. But we can hack that. We can actually increase our tolerance and actually be able to retain our breath even longer, right? Now, the other thing is that if we were to hyperventilate a little bit beforehand and breathe the CO2 out, right? Not only are we mimicking what they do in the machines, because what they found is actually the most effective method, right? It's the next level of IHT, is IHHT, intermittent hypoxic training. So what they do is they give higher oxygen for a brief period, followed by very low oxygen instead of normal oxygen. And if we were to simulate that by doing fast breathing or faster breathing for a few minutes or less, okay? Actually, there's a quick way to do it where it's just 30 seconds of it. What we do is we get rid of CO2 temporarily, which is a hack, because now you have less of that signal in your blood telling you need to inhale, which means you can hold your breath much longer than you normally can. Does that make sense? Right? So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the quickest way to get into intermittent hypoxia is through a sequence of Bhastrika pranayama, which is fast breathing like this. All right, do that about 30 to 40 times. And kind of make a pump. All right, do that about 30 to 40 times, and then you take a deep breath in, then breathe out, hold your nose, or just hold your breath, doesn't matter about holding your nose at this point, and then hold your breath as long as you can, right? Then you will be able to hold your breath 60 seconds or more. When you start to get 60 seconds is when you get into hypoxia, and that's when the magic starts happening. And if you can prolong that, so some people are saying they're holding your breath for 2 to 3 minutes. Yes, it's possible. You can hold your breath. When you hack your CO2 tolerance, you can actually hold it 2 to 3 minutes. When you can do that, stay in a longer state of hypoxia, you give the stem cells more of a chance to circulate around the body and do its magic, right? But we don't want it to go overboard. We don't need to hold it much more beyond 4 or 5 minutes, okay? To get really good effects. In fact, you only need to hold it around 90 seconds to really get the effects, okay? And do that several times in a row in a sequence in a protocol. Let me now show you a quick example of this in action. So I'm going to do what I just said, and you can all do it and follow along with me as I do it, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in like this through your nose, breathe out through your nose. Right, we're going to do that 30 times in a minute. So rhythmic breathing, 30 times like that, like a pump. Then you breathe in, breathe out, hold, and then hold your breath for as long as you can. Just so follow me, we're going to do it together. And watch this number here. You'll see the 98% drop. All right? And I'll time it as well. So let's time this. Okay, ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Breathing in. Deep breath. Breathe out. Hold. Chin to your chest. See the 76%? Monica, take a screenshot now, please. Then breathe in and come back to normal breathing. It went down to about 76%. Okay, so did you all get the hang of it? We're going to do it again. So I held it for about a minute 30 there, right? So I don't know how long you all held it, but what you can do, so Imitiaz, I've just been trying to explain this because somebody just asked, what's the 76% mean? I just told you that this is the oxygen saturation, right? And this is the oxygen saturation of your bloodstream, okay? Now, I just brought it down to 76%, which means I'm in intermittent hypoxia. So hopefully that makes sense now. Good. So that's the therapeutic state. And I held my breath for around minute 30, right? So for a period of that time, I would have been in hypoxia. When it goes below 90%, you're in hypoxia. So from when it starts going to 90%, and that's the point when it kicks in. So the length of time you can hold your breath while you're in a hypoxic state will determine the dose of intermittent hypoxia. That makes sense, right? So usually if you can hold it from around 130 to 2 minutes, you'll get the effective a really effective dose. So that's what we train you to do in SOMA Breath, how to do that, how to ensure you're getting that dose. We show you how to use these devices, how to use this to make sure you're getting the dose. So now let's do it again, one more time. And this time I'm going to add a little bit of guidance to help you to go deeper, right? And then we're going to add another layer of guidance for the next part. So we'll do it again, 30 times breathing, like without like if you find that's challenging, and breathe in and out through your nose, right? If exhaling through your nose is hard, right? That means you have breathing issues. That's another reason why you need to do our SOMA Breath practices, or even hire a SOMA Breath instructor. Because if you have problems breathing in and out through your nose, there's a bit of work you can do to improve that, okay? Because when you have breathing problems, it's the first sign of chronic stress and symptoms of disease. It's one of the warning bells, right? So, when I get a cold or blocked noses, I really need to identify what's the cause. Is it allergy? Sometimes it's allergic. But if it's because of a virus or cold symptom, it's usually because my body's toxic, right? And I need to clean it out. I need to do something. So that's when I do purification processes to clear it out. And I double the dose of hypoxia that I'm doing because it helps that so much. It really helps the healing process, all right? So the moment you start to get some symptoms, it's time to do your SOMA Breath practice. In fact, you should make it a regular daily practice. But let's do it again. Now, if you find inhaling through your nose difficult, breathe out through your mouth. So it's like this. You can do that, okay? But ideally, you want to keep it like this. You can do it like this. And another way to do it, which you can try as well, is to... Okay, somebody asked important questions. What's better, breathing out from the nose or mouth? Always breathe through your nose. Don't use mouth breathing. It causes too much stress on the body, right? To get into hypoxia, you want to stay parasympathetic as possible. And our rhythmic breathing practice, because I'm going to tell you why we created the modality the way I have in a moment after I've given you these quick methods. Because you want to stay relaxed going into the breath hold. If you go into the breath hold stressed, you won't be able to hold your breath long. And that's why people get short breath hold times. It's because they're going into it with too much stress, or they're doing the technique too forced. It's got to be relaxed. When you breathe through your nose, ensure it's diaphragmatic. It's very hard to breathe into your chest through your nose. So when you do this, just practice it. Notice what's moving. It's your belly's probably moving rather than your chest. And this keeps it parasympathetic. Okay? Now, if you do mouth breathing, it tends to go into the chest, and that causes stress. It leads to asthma. A lot of people who have asthma, it's because they're chest breathers, all right? They're mouth breathers into their chest. Switch to nasal breathing, changes your life. But now, let's do one more round, just through your nose, in and out through your nose, right? Then breathing out through your mouth, okay, is okay, right, for this technique only, but not in normal day-to-day breathing. So remember, this is a technique. You don't confuse this with normal breathing. But when you breathe out through your mouth, you're letting go of lots of CO2. So it can actually help you go deeper into the breath hold. But really, you must always breathe in through your nose. And to be honest, it's best to do everything through the nose if you can. It forms better, healthy breathing habits. And this is different from Wim. Somebody says Wim Hof says belly, then chest. This is different from Wim Hof. This is the traditional pranayama way of doing this, okay? So it's called Bhastrika followed by Kumbhaka, Nishesha Kumbhaka. Okay, so what we're doing is you can do that. You can also do Kapalbhati, which is this. So the way you can do Kapalbhati is to suck in your diaphragm like this. So when you exhale, you suck in your belly. All right? You can do that. This force exhale through your nose. So you're forcing exhale through your nose. This force exhale through the nose is a really good way of getting rid of CO2 as well, temporarily. Kapalbhati. So you can also do that if you prefer. Right? You can choose which one you want to use. But let's do the normal way first. So like this. "40 times, okay? You're not forcing the air on the exhale should just fall by itself. And you should wait for the exhale to completely go to the bottom, not halfway. So you don't do this. That's not right. You want to let the exhale fall because you want to get rid of, just think logically, you want to get rid of CO2 for a bit. So do this. And if you let your exhale just fall by itself, you don't cause stress. Forced exhale causes a bit of stress, and that means it's harder to hold your breath. All right? Unless it's like this. You just want to keep it relaxed. So let's go. Ready? After 3, 2, 1. Rhythmic breathing. Keep going. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. One more for good luck. 31. Breathe in fully. Breathe out fully. Hold your bros. Hold your breath. Now completely relax every muscle in your body. Completely relax. Relax your chin, your jaw, your chest. Allow everything to become relaxed. Completely relax. You're completely safe. You're completely calm. Just completely relax into this. Notice how good it feels. Just bring your awareness to that sensation of being completely relaxed and still. And override that first urge to breathe. And when you start to get contractions, allow your diaphragm to twitch a bit, like this. Just allow the contractions to twitch, and you might move your diaphragm up and down a little bit. And you can hold your breath even longer. Just swallow if you need to. Just allow your diaphragm to twitch. That's right. You can keep holding. You can keep going deeper. You're much longer than you think you can. And then when you cannot hold any longer, deep breath in, come back to normal breathing. Okay, how does everyone feel from that? Feel good? Feel good? Okay. Well, Barry's still going. Okay, tell us, Barry, what happened, man. How low did you go?
I was down to 81.
Okay, cool. So you seem to hold it quite a long time. So amazing. Good stuff.
But it was really interesting is when I allowed the vibrations in my chest to begin, it immediately began beeping. It went from 90 and just dropped. So
Yeah.
it was interesting.
It was what? It was where? Around where?
Right around 90, my pulse oximeter beeps when it starts going below 90, and then
Yeah.
as soon as I started doing that, it dropped pretty dramatically.
Yes. That's the point. And then what you can do is then inhale and hold your breath in for as long as you can as well, right? And then finish with humming. And that's what completes the whole cycle, right? The one round of this technique. Now let's actually talk about the SOMA breath way. So what I just showed you is the pranayama way. The way we do it in traditional pranayama, okay? So the way I learned this is I went to train with an Indian yogi medical doctor called Prakash Maharsh, who wrote one of the best books on the medical understanding of yoga. And so when I was healing myself from this autoimmune disease, after I healed myself, I wanted to go super deep in the research of these practices. And I came across Prakash Maharsh's work. And I was fascinated by it. And it opened the doors to me wanting to go deep into yogic science and to really make it something relatable that I can share with the world. Then, by sheer fate, I met Wim Hof. And I became like, in his world. And I made the music to the Wim Hof method. And I was like, this guy was already doing the method. And he's already got it out there, right? So I was like, let's support that mission. And then he blew up, got super famous. But what I realized was there's some nuances to the technique that makes it even more effective as a protocol, right? And that's where SOMA Breath comes in with the music and the extra layers we add on, which is the neurosomatic programming, the guidance that takes it to a whole nother level, right? For reprogramming. And what that does, this modality, is it models some various pranayama techniques in a sequence. So let me break that down for you now. So remember that what I said was we want to get into longer breath hold times, right, as possible. And what I just showed you is a quick method of doing it, okay? Now, here's the thing. When you just do Bhastrika, or even like the way Wim does it, right? The thing with that is it doesn't really, firstly, turn on the parasympathetic that well. So you're not relaxed. Secondly, it doesn't really oxygenate your body tissue cells before you go into the breath hold either. It actually reduces oxygenation to your body tissue cells. But if you change the pattern to a slow breathing pattern, with an extended exhale, a double exhale time to inhale, that has been shown, especially in these breathing patterns of 10 breaths per minute or slower, to dramatically oxygenate the body, right, with oxygen. So you get oxygenation of your whole body tissue. I'm not talking about your red blood cells, I'm talking about your entire body tissue cells, right? You get much better oxygenation beforehand so that you're really prepped for long breath holds, and you go into it in a parasympathetic state. So when you go into the breath hold on a parasympathetic state with really good oxygenation of all your body tissue cells already, so you have a lot of reserves of oxygen already stored, you can dramatically increase your breath hold times. You can go much longer, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, right? And this rhythmic breathing also creates a state of coherence in the body that creates a state of harmony. And when you do it with music, it's so much more fun, it's so much more enjoyable. It's a beautiful feeling. So this is what led to the evolution of then SOMA Breath as a methodology for delivering intermittent hypoxia in a fun, effective, enjoyable way. But then in SOMA Breath, because I'm a pharmacist, I actually brought into the system all the different validated pranayama techniques. So we use this sequence to create hypoxia, but what we do afterwards is we do antara kumbhaka, which is, so the first breath hold is called baya kumbhaka. So you do rhythmic breathing, it's called savitri kumbhaka, followed by baya kumbhaka, breath hold after exhale, followed by repeating that a couple of times, breathing out, holding, or holding. This is called nisheshra chaka. You repeat that a few times, okay? This increases your breath hold ability, so it dramatically increases the length of the hypoxia. And then we breathe in, and we use the pelvic floor muscles. We send the energy up into the brain, and you imagine you're sending something up to your brain. So imagine all the stem cells, all of the positive hormones, everything. We're sending it up through the sphincter, contracting, pulling up the sphincter. And then we're directing the energy. Imagine you're screwing up your forehead a bit, sending the energy, directing it up, shooting it out through your head. That's like the way I kind of describe it, because it's like directing the blood flow up to your brain through the cerebral spinal fluid, right? So you're doing this, all right? And then you hold it there until you get the first urge to breathe, and then you finish with another potent technique in pranayama called chanting Om, right? So you just go but with the emphasis on the hum. You can also just go hum. That hum sound here vibrates your paranasal sinuses, and it basically creates nitric oxide, which is antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial, an incredible bronchodilator, vasodilator. It's your miracle molecule for the body. It's an antioxidant, has incredible health benefits. This entire sequence, what we do, creates intermittent hypoxia, big dose of nitric oxide, and feel-good hormones called, the spells A dose. You release A dose. Anandamide, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, right? This creates a strength and power, inner power, right? And what we do is we're cultivating that life force energy, right? And we're sending it up to the brain, where we create neurogenesis on command. It actually increases the healthier brain. But we can also direct it to anywhere in the body that we want, all right? So it's going to be a little more extended power hour today. It's going to be like a power hour and 15, I think, because I still want to share a little bit more. So, so we can also direct this energy to where we want for healing. So what you could do is do the normal technique, 30 breaths in and out, hold your breath after exhale, breathe in. And then when you're holding your breath on the inhale, squeeze the area you want to send energy to. So maybe you want to heal your arm, you just send the energy to your arm. And you hold your breath on the inhale, squeeze that area. You don't screw up your forehead this time. You can just squeeze the area, like contract the area you want to send the blood flow to, and then just relax at the end and hum. And And when you put your intention to that area you want to heal, it starts to accelerate the healing of that area. All right? So that's one way you can use this now for self-directed healing. But what I want to do now is just give you a taste of intermittent hypoxia, 1 round, using the rhythmic breathing methodology from SOMA Breath with music. That makes it really fun and effective. And what you can do, we all have 6 minutes a day, right? Who has not got 6 minutes a day free? Who's so busy, so popular, so distracted, right, that they don't have 6 minutes? Deanna, don't put your hand up. I know you've got 6 minutes. Okay, so let's just do this. So we're going to do this one track. Even if all you did was this one track on the app every day, 6 minutes, you're already healing, right? You're already doing the work, right? But we can up the dose. In fact, the 21-day awakening journey, which you all should do, follows the exact intermittent hypoxic training protocol set in the clinics. I highly recommend you find a transformational coach, SOMA Breath transformation coach, and get them to do it one-on-one with you, or do it online with our group classes that are going on all the time. It's also led by instructors. Highly recommend you do that as the next step. But for now, let's just do this first track. I'm going to tell you exactly where it is in the app. All right, so wait 1 sec. I'm going to do a screen share and show you where it is. Very easy to find, actually. I'll show you 1 second. Here is the nifty app. All right. When you go onto your smartphones, your fancy little smartphones, you will open this up and you'll see something like this. You can go into the short sections and you'll find these are all usually, I think every single one of these is a dose, 1 dose or 2 doses of intermittent hypoxia, all right? We should probably put in the description the number of doses, but it's fine. This 6-minute power is brilliant. It gives you a power charge, right? So you can also click on this panel, new to SOMA Breath, start here. Here you'll see 3 different tracks. First one is the instructions on how to do it in more depth. Then it's an explanation of intermittent hypoxia, what it is, and then the sequence, right? So you click on that and we do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it together.
Welcome to SOMA.
I'm going to share this track and we're going to do it together 1 round. All right. And I'm going to monitor my hypoxia levels. And if you've got an app, a pulse oximeter, you should all do it together. Oops. So let me just find Zoom again. So does everybody find that, yeah? On the app, it's pretty easy to find. New to SOMA Breath, start here. Intermittent hypoxia training sequence. All right? Okay, so now I'm going to share the music. Okay. Ready? So get comfortable. We're all going to do this together. Let's go.
Welcome to the SOMA Breath Intermittent Hypoxic Training Sequence, where you're going to be breathing in a 2 in, 4 out rhythm with a breath retention phase. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's right. So now sit comfortably with an upright posture, relaxed. When you hear me say in, breathe in. And when you hear me say out, breathe out. The smooth and consistent rhythm to the rhythm and groove of the music. That's right. Let's begin. 3, 2, 1. Exhale and in. 2, out. breathing in, breathing out. The smooth, consistent inhale and exhale.
Now you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Breathing in through your diaphragm, then into your chest, and letting go on every exhale. This rhythm should be effortless, relaxed, with no force. Deepen your breath slightly, taking longer, deeper breaths, but staying in that rhythm. Deepen your breath even more. Begin to breathe deep, full breaths in that same consistent rhythm. Just 3 breaths left before the breath retention phase. 2 breaths left. 1 last breath. Now take a deep breath in and breathe all the air out, holding your breath after a full exhalation. Relaxing the shoulders, your chest. Let your chin drop towards your chest and relax every muscle in your body. That's right. You have 60 seconds remaining on this breath hold. If you need to take a breath at any time, take a little sip in through your nose and breathe out and hold your breath. And you can repeat this as many times as you need to until you get the command to inhale. That's right. Stay calm, stay relaxed. You are perfectly safe. Allow your muscles of your body to be relaxed and at ease. Let your shoulders drop, soften your jaw, your face, becoming very relaxed. You have 20 seconds remaining. You're doing great. See if you can hold your breath slightly beyond the comfort zone, going beyond what you thought was possible. Overriding the fear of holding your breath rubs off on other areas of your life where you may be having fear that holds you back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take a deep breath all the way in and hold your breath after full inhalation. Pulling up the muscles around your pelvic floor, your sphincter up, contracting up. You send this energy up like a spiral of light into your midbrain, illuminating you to the light of this blissful awakening. And focus now on maintaining the state of stillness by holding your breath for as long as you comfortably can. Now you have 15 seconds remaining of this breath retention phase. Relax muscles in your chest, your diaphragm, your face. Just stay calm and at ease and enjoy that stillness. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let go with a hum. Now, coming back to normal breathing, observing how you feel, noticing any changes. Congratulations, you have now just learnt and experienced how to do SOMA Breath intermittent hypoxic training. So if this felt really good, then imagine doing a whole 20 to 60 minute full deep dive session. You can find a variety of these on the SOMA Breath app, inside our courses like the 21-Day Awakening Journey, and in our instructors' classes.
All right, so coming back to normal breathing, checking in with how you felt. It's actually so hot here right now in Ibiza. It's like 37 degrees. I'm sweating buckets. It's a bit harder to hold my breath that long, but that was timed exactly to 90 seconds breath hold. Did anyone get to that area? Yep, great. Everyone feels good, right? So you can see, do you see the difference of the slow rhythmic breathing? Makes a difference, right? Now, this was the beginner's version. There's more in our app. The sessions get a bit more progressively more intense, and when you do it several times in a row, more rounds. So most of the SOMA Breath journeys are 2 to 3 to 4 rounds or more. So the longer they are, the more rounds they are, and what that does is it builds up the dose. So like the first round, you might only hold it for 60 seconds. The second round, as you get used to it, you'll hold it for 90 seconds and then even 2 minutes. That's how it works for me. So after about 4 or 5 rounds, I usually get to like 2 to 3 minutes breath holds times, right? So the general rule is if you want to go through some kind of healing, you want to build up gradually to doing 4 rounds of hypoxia a day, 4 to 5 rounds. And actually, if you want to go really deep, and let's say you've got a lot of work you're doing within yourself to heal, you can go even up to 8 rounds. But we do only advise doing that with a SOMA Breath instructor who's trained, right? A certified transformational coach. They will be able to guide you safely through these very advanced protocols where you're holding your breath for many, many rounds, around many minutes, okay? So 4 rounds is a good amount to do each day. And but even just 1 or 2 rounds is good enough too. But with the 21-Day Awakening Journey, you get it built up for you, as well as more advanced techniques for the last week in a proper, logical way, step by step, led by instructor. Highly recommend you do the 21-Day Awakening Journey. What I highly recommend you also do is come to the SOMA Awakening Retreat in Austria. The SOMA Awakening Retreat in Austria is where we do this religiously, literally, every day. We do so many rounds of hypoxia, and we do it up in a higher altitude environment in the Austrian Alps, and we go out in nature and we do it in beautiful areas, and we do it with all the elements. So we do the air, which is on top of the mountain. We do it in the water. We do this special water rebirth session in Austria, which is a very powerful, potent technique. It doesn't involve holding your breath like we just did. It's a different type of breathwork technique for releasing stress and trauma and going back into the womb imprint. We do sauna protocols, breathwork in the sauna, breathwork in cold plunges. And so we're doing it with all the elements: heat, fire, air, earth, and grounding on the earth, and water as well. So we do this in Austria, and the dates are, Monica, do you want to share when it's coming up? Would anyone be interested in coming to Austria, to this retreat I've been doing for like 9 years now, I think? Who would be up for coming
22nd of August to the 27th of August, Niraj.
Yeah, and it's where we do this much more depth, and then I can also help you master the technique. If you're having problems with the technique, I can make sure you're really doing it correctly and that you're really achieving the hypoxia that you need. All right? So that's that. But then we also have the 21-Day Awakening Journey. If anyone's interested in that, there'll be a link to the course. And somebody asked, like, how long is the 21-Day Awakening Journey available once you join it? It's available all the time. You always can go back to it. All right? So it's like you get it all the time. It's really good. Okay, a lot of you doing it. Can you please share the link to the Austria retreat as well. Yep, it's up here. I'm just going to send it to Camelia. Okay. All right. Any questions?
I've actually written down a couple that were in the chat earlier, so let me just
Yeah.
go through them because we have Anat asking a question, somebody else liked it as well. Can you explain how do we know we are actually in hypoxia state when doing breath holds?
Okay, that's a great question. So first way is to check you're in hypoxia is using the machine. But what you then want to do is associate how you're feeling with the reading. So you'll feel hypoxia because you'll see it when it happens. So the thing with these machines is there's always a delayed reaction. You're going to be in hypoxia before the machine registers it. Okay, so what you want to do is just really check in with how you're feeling as you're building up to that like hypoxia point of lower than 90%. Okay, so when you get to lower than 90%, which takes usually 90 seconds, breath hold time or less, 60 to 90 seconds, you'll get a feeling. And so if you don't have the machine, you can do it by the feeling, familiar feeling. All right, it's this warm sensation. It feels like you're filling up with something. It's like this energy, heat radiates out. You will, when you first do it, feel a bit like a suffocating feeling. But with practice, the suffocation feeling goes away quite a bit and you feel more of a blissful feeling. Like it starts to feel really good, right? So did everyone feel that kind of warmth building up? That kind of energy sensation, contraction in your diaphragm? Usually when you start getting the contraction in your diaphragm is when the hypoxia starts. Yeah? So I hope that answered the question.
There's another question here. What other ways are there for activating stem cells besides hypoxic training? If you can share.
Oh yeah. Sauna, cold plunge. So very hot sauna, 80 to 90 degrees or 100 degrees, between 80 and 100 degrees. So those proper Finnish saunas, Nordic saunas, not a hammam or steam room or those crappy infrared ones that only go to like 40 degrees. No, we're going to do full power, dry heat sauna. No steam or anything like that, okay? That's one way. Cold plunges. So cold water below 14 degrees. Around 10 degrees is like a sweet spot. Between like 5 to 14 degrees is like a sweet spot. That also activates stem cells. So very cold, very hot. Physical trauma, but you're not going to do physical trauma. All right, at least I hope not. And breath holds. They're like the three. And also physical exercise, holding your breath. So what we also like to do in SOMA Breath is to dance whilst holding our breath. Okay? And if there's no more questions, maybe that's how we're going to finish today. Is with a little dance where we're holding our breath for bits and go into normal breathing for bits. Who wants to try that out? That's actually the funnest.
So basically, hashtag Austria retreat, hashtag Austria awakening retreat. You come into SOMA Breath Austria and you get everything that Niraj just mentioned. 22nd of August is the retreat.
Okay, Amol has a question on which is better, nostril in, nostril out versus nostril in, mouth out. Always, if you can do it through the nostrils only, it's the best. But it's okay to nostril in, mouth out. You can also experiment. If you're very fit and healthy, you can do the mouth, no problem. Even breathing in and out through your mouth, you can experiment. But when you're doing our SOMA Breath technique, to keep the breath smooth and rhythmic, we usually recommend to breathe out through your mouth. Slow, continuous exhale. It's like an ocean wave, all right? Can we do breath holds in a sauna and breath work? No, I advise you don't do breath holds in a sauna because it generates a lot of heat. Just focus on just meditation. Just follow your breath. Slow rhythmic breathing. We also have we have a breath of life course with rhythmic breathing. We have the heart coherence track. So slow rhythmic breathing is also good to do in a sauna. Okay, especially with an extended exhale. What about lung condition like COPD and can only hold for like 20 seconds? Build up gradually. Work with an instructor. Work with a SOMA Breath transformational coach, preferably in person if you can. But a good instructor will be able to help you, guide you through the internet to get over COPD, because that needs a deeper assessment. But this technique is very powerful. It can help with so many conditions, right? From any degenerative disease that's related to mitochondrial dysfunction, which is a lot, all right? So like just go and just type in to ChatGPT if you want, or go to our website and you can look it up. There's a whole article on intermittent hypoxia on the SOMA Breath blog, right? But if you go to a tool like ChatGPT and ask a question like, what diseases are caused or are related to mitochondria dysfunction, and see what comes. So it says mitochondrial dysfunction is linked to a wide range of diseases, both rare genetic conditions and also more common chronic illnesses. Because mitochondria are essential for cellular energy ATP production. Dysfunction affects high energy demand tissues the most, such as the brain, heart, muscles, and liver. So pretty much every neurological psychiatric disorder, from Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, MS, ASD, autism, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, are all affected by mitochondrial dysfunction. Cardiovascular metabolic diseases, so heart failure, atherosclerosis, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, obesity, all related to it. Autoimmune and inflammatory diseases, so from chronic fatigue to rheumatoid arthritis to lupus to fibromyalgia. Energy fatigue related disorders, right? So what you are suffering from right now is exercise intolerance probably as well with COPD. So you can also improve that, the exercise intolerance, chronic fatigue syndrome, post-viral fatigue syndrome, aging related diseases, so cognitive decline, age-related macular degeneration. And what triggers mitochondrial dysfunction, what causes it? Oxidative stress, so bad breathing habits, chronic inflammation, right? So that happens from bad lifestyle choices and disease. Toxin exposure, so heavy metals, pesticides. That's why we love saunas, ice baths. Another way to increase your mitochondrial function is intermittent fasting. So combining intermittent fasting, doing basically the breath work during fasting is the best. And then jump in a sauna and cold plunge after that. So I do in the morning. So I don't have breakfast till about 11 a.m. I do my exercise first. 11 a.m. is when I break my fast. And it's my magic number 11. And that's when I start my day pretty much. The first 3 hours of the day, well, I actually wake up around 6, 7. The first hours of the morning, I am actually doing my techniques. I'm doing my procedures, my protocol, right? So here's the way to improve it. Saunas, so contrast therapy, saunas, ice baths, intermittent fasting, and breath retention techniques, all right? So pretty much everything causes mitochondrial dysfunction that we know is bad for us. Nutrition deficiencies, viral infections, and certain medications as well, like statins, antibiotics. If you're on statins, seriously go and speak to your doctor, like get off them. There's no evidence at all that they're good for you at all. In fact, they mess up your mitochondria. I saw in the pharmacy all the time. This was one of the first things that triggered me to quit my job, was because I saw so many people suffering from the side effects of statins, which is one of the most widely prescribed drugs there is. The amount of side effects was beyond a joke, all right? And like, they still haven't done anything about it, I don't think. They're still giving them out like sweets. It's not good for our aging population. Okay, so I think we've done a good overview here. Like, we need to look after our mitochondria. Our mitochondria are these energy centers of our cells. They relate to pretty much every function in life. It's how we make life force energy that drives our life. Every mystic practice and tradition is all about enhancing mitochondrial function, because your mitochondria don't like it when you're depressed. They don't like environments that are hostile. They don't like you to be in an environment which doesn't support your growth and happiness. they're like little entities of their own, right? They're actually bacteria. They're originally bacteria. So mitochondria actually are a part of us, but there are other creatures, there are other life forms. So we need to look after them like they're our little pets, right? We need to look after them like they're our little life support machines as well. So everything that they talk about in spirituality actually has a direct effect on mitochondrial function. So that's why I'm demystifying spiritual practice. Because scientifically, it all makes sense. It's shrouded in a lot of God language, which we need to decode and bring to the world in a more kind of non-dogmatic way. And that way we can cross all boundaries and we can actually do a lot of amazing stuff for the betterment of society. So that's why I invite all of you to become SOMA Breath instructors, even if you're just doing it for yourself. If you're just doing it for yourself, you're not doing it for a career, just what you'll learn from that will change your life. It will be worth the price of the course, I guarantee it, just to do it for yourself, your own transformation, which is priceless. And then when you start getting testimonials of other people's lives you changed, I'm sorry, like there's no better feeling than that. Even sex doesn't come as close to that feeling you get when you see your testimonials come through. People's lives has changed, right? So in fact, when you combine intermittent hypoxia, this breath holding, especially on the inhale during lovemaking, that's a whole nother, I think maybe I'm going to do a power hour just on sex. Give me an actual signal. Who wants me to do a power hour just on sex magic and tantra? Of course. The silly question. Great. We're going to do that next. Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that, Colette, about the vaccine damage. The thing with the osteoretreat is it actually might be the thing that you need. And you can also go at your own pace as well. It could dramatically help you heal from it, actually, because of all the practices I'm talking about is all designed to help you clear vaccine damage, because actually the vaccine damage is what it's doing is causing mitochondrial dysfunction. That's how it works. That's what spike proteins do, right? They mess up your mitochondria. So I think that everything is associated with mitochondrial health, okay? Everything that you do in your life, think about, is it making our mitochondria stronger or is it harming them, okay? But remember that a little bit of stress on your mitochondria is a good thing, a little bit of positive stress. So dancing while holding your breath, which we're about to do now, is an amazing positive stress response on your body. Only when we do chronic stress does it become a problem. So that's why you're not going to dance holding your breath for hours. You're just going to do it for a few minutes, all right? So, you ready? So many questions. You have so many questions that, you know what? That's a sign that you should actually hire SOMA Breath instructor. So go and find them. Don't wait for the next power hour to ask questions that may or may not get answered. We have so many instructors. We have 3,000 plus instructors. Go and hire one, spend an hour with them. They'll give you such an amazing insight into everything I've shared and customize the training just for you. All right, find a SOMA Breath transformation coach or instructor on our webpage. Okay, and yes, one can treat depression without antidepressants. In fact, that's what the Cambridge University study has kind of shown us is probably what it's leading towards, is a non-pharmacological alternative to psychedelics and ketamine, which is actually so far the #1 treatments for severe depression, better than antidepressants. And yes, we have trainers in French and so on and so forth. All right, so let's do this. So for the last track, I'm going to play, for this exercise, we're going to play a track. And you're all going to dance, shake, move, and have some fun. And yes, let's do it. And you're going to hold your breath. When I say, the way we're going to do it is, firstly, we're going to just dance for a bit. And you're going to do it just breathing in and out through your nose. And then I'm going to say, hold your breath. At that point, you hold your breath either after the exhale or after the inhale. It's up to you. Then you hold your breath. And then when I say, you're going to hum. And then we will hum, and but you keep moving, all right, through it, and then that's it. Then we finish. Okay, so let's do this together. All right. One sec. Okay, so you ready? Let's go. So, just breathing in through your nose. breathe with a hum. All right, check in with how you feel. Check in with that vibe. How you feeling inside? Yeah. And then come back. Feel the energy. Feel the ecstasy. How does that feel to do rhythmic breathing followed by holding your breath whilst dancing? Turns it up a bit, right? Actually, you feel a little bit higher. Yeah? Great. Amazing. So there you go. So that's how you can make now an amazingly effective exercise routine, right? Do some of that in the morning. Breathe and dance. Hold your breath. Do some SOMA breath in the morning. 2 to 3 rounds, or even just 1 if you haven't got time. Then do some sauna and ice bath rotation, contrast therapy. If you've got time, if you've got access to the facilities, you don't have to do it. All right, if you just sit there every morning and don't eat whilst you're doing all of that, so you have a period of fasting in the morning. So you eat your last meal around 8 p.m., have some time in the morning to exercise, then get on with your day. This will change your life. Even if all you manage to do is twice a week. Just doing it twice a week is going to be revolutionary for you. But if you can do a little bit every day, and you can even spread it out throughout the day, you can do more doses of the hypoxia. You can also do this exercise later on in the day as well, but also make sure it's on an empty stomach. Fasting time, okay? This will change your life. I'm telling you, change your life. So on the app, there's loads of dance music, amazing dance music like you just heard, hours of it. On the app is the breathwork protocols, right? The daily doses. The 21-day awakening journey is a whole protocol for going much deeper into this, and it's really the whole system of transformation. And then we also have coaching by our SOMA Breath instructors who can really help one-on-one customize our sessions for you. So I think we've covered a lot today. I hope, I always over-deliver value, and then my wife gets mad at me because I'm supposed to be at dinner. So I've gone way over the power hour. It's more like power 2 hour instead. So I think this is a great way to end, and definitely reach out to SOMA Breath instructors and transformation coaches for more advice. And if you don't have any questions answered from me, you can go to them. So I hope this was useful. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Niraj, from all of us. And let me just read out this one comment. I've been doing SOMA breathing for the past 2 weeks, and my life has changed drastically for the better. Thank you, dear Niraj, for changing my life. Thank you so much, Farah, for sharing that testimonial with us. And there's so much more testimonials and reviews on the website, somabreath.com, but also in the app. Somebody asked earlier, are there longer journeys? Yes, the Monday and Friday sessions, live sessions with instructors. I am one of them. So today I'm your host, but I'm also one of the SOMA Breath Masters. We'll be guiding you then through 4, 5, 6 even rounds where you really tap into going deeper and deeper with breath holding. But as Niraj mentioned, if you have an instructor near you, that in person, that revelation, if you're in Barcelona or in London, Dublin, let me know, hit me up, because I can be the master that will help you as well to reconnect with your breath and go deeper on the breath holds. And of course, we mentioned so many times today the retreats, but I just got confirmation, Niraj, we have one final spot, early bird price for Austria. This is not a sales tactic, okay? I don't do sales tactics. This is the truth. So if you were hesitant, if you were wondering, is it really my time? This is the moment for you to book. So Monica, put into the chat as well, the Austria Awakening Retreat that starts on the 22nd of August. I truly believe we all should gift ourselves a retreat. We've been gifting ourselves many tangible material things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But an experience like this is life-changing, life-transforming. And I have experienced that myself because I went first as a participant, and it has like completely changed everything that I thought about myself, and allowed me also to go deeper and deeper into my life, into my mission, to my purpose. And now I'm here with all of you. at Power 2 Hour session with Niraj and everyone else. And yeah, and you're all still here. I cannot believe everyone's still here after the hour. Niraj, I think this is it.
This is amazing. And there was a request there for a dance routine for the app. So I'm leaving that to you, Piotr.
I'm taking it on board. I'm taking it on board.
Okay.
I have a session planned I think in the next week or so, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna manipulate it to that extent that I will be bringing the dance sequence into that. But of course, we have amazing instructors. Claudia is doing her tribal moves in the app, and yes, Niraj, I will be doing the Jane.
Routine.
I'll
We
be
need
okay.
we need a 10-minute, 15-minute dance routine
Done.
from people.
Done. Jane Fonda, Piotr Chepiel style, basically.
With breath
It's happening
holds and some
with breath holds, yeah, maybe even some dumbbells later on as well, who knows? But first, a dance routine. Absolutely. Doing it. Everyone,
Great.
thank you so much. It's been an
Thank you,
absolute
everyone.
honor to have you all here. Any of your questions that have not been answered, we have the Facebook community. We have, also all the other options for you to connect with us through Telegram, through WhatsApp. So please feel free to send us these messages as well, because all of us, all master instructors, are SOMA Breath, and Niraj himself, we are seeing these questions and we're answering. So don't worry, if any of these questions were not answered, we will be answering them there. Or if you want to have a private coaching session with one of the instructors, you can book that as well. Now, everything, Niraj, any final words from you?
I think just hold your breath and watch what happens.
I think dinner is served.
Yeah, well said.
Everyone, so much love to all of you. Keep dancing, keep breathing, keep practicing. And one thing that I'm going to add as well, because I've seen some of you mention this in the chat, commitment and consistency will build up breath holds. Do not give up. Okay, you will not, and this is very important. If you've been living your life 30, 40, 50 years without any awareness about SOMA Breath, don't give yourself this critical voice of, I have to get the breath holds to 90 seconds today or tomorrow, because you will not. You'll fail. And please don't do that to yourself. Commitment and consistency. Go by day, practice by practice, and see that blissful state that you can be entering through the intermittent hypoxic training. And SOMA Breath will always be here for you to help you, support you. We're here truly all the time. All of you, thank you very much. Much love to all of you. Niraj, to you. See you very soon as well.
Much love,
in Amsterdam. I'll see you in Amsterdam, my brother.
Yeah.
Everyone else, much love, everyone. Thank you, Monica. Back of house, as always, you're smiling. That's a good sign. Diana, Stacy, everyone else, keep waving at us. Exactly. Keep celebrating. Clapping. A somatic experience. Mwah. Much love to everyone.